What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Fallible Kitchen. This is Brent, the Fallible Man. I'll be your host. Today we're going to make a breakfast casserole, and you're going to start with some basic potatoes. Guys, you can use, I like red potatoes, but you can use reds, russets, yellows, whatever potato you like, and make this casserole. So, dice them up nice and small, and the basic measurement you need is you want it to cover the bottom of a 9x13 or 11x13 Pyrex casserole dish. So we're going to dice them up, and they cover the bottom, see? That's your measurement. Next, we're going to take the sausage, which is this basic Jimmy Dean sausage that's been browning on my stove. Once it browns, I add some diced bell peppers because I like them to cook together, and I like bell peppers and the flavor it adds. So, once it's mildly brown, we're going to add the bell peppers and finish cooking it together the rest of the way. Now that we've got our sausage and bell peppers ready, we're going to add it to the top of our potatoes. Guys, we're just going to scrape that pan out. I like lots of meat in my food. We're going to scrape this pan out, and then we're going to level out and just move all that meat, distribute it evenly across the top of the potatoes. You can see the steam coming off there. That's fresh, hot, cooked sausage. It smells amazing already. I'm just going to evenly spread that out over the top of the potatoes. And if you saw my first video, I'm a big believer in bacon. I do not work for Costco. I'm not endorsed by Costco, but there's always room for bacon, and I would have a Costco membership just to buy this pre-cooked, actual legitimate bacon crumbles. Saves me so much time and energy, and I like tons of meat in my food, as I said, so I'm going to spread that out over the top of my sausage. Guys, make sure you have clean hands when you're cooking. I know you see me touching my food a lot. It's because only my family's going to eat it, and I always wash my hands before I cook. Now, I go through a lot of eggs at my house. So our next step is to add eggs, because what's breakfast casserole without eggs? I buy 5 dozen every 2 weeks, and quite normally end up buying 1.5 dozen more. So it's not uncommon for us to go through 6 to 7 dozen eggs every 2 weeks in my house. We cook a lot of eggs for breakfast. We cook a lot of egg recipes. So this is the boring part of the show. You can speed through this part if you want. Guys, if you don't know how to crack an egg, it's really easy. Tap it gently, because eggs make a mess, on your counter until you feel it crack a little bit. You'll hear the sound of it. Put your thumbs together on the crack and split the egg over your pan. Make sure you don't get any eggshell in, because that's gross. I'm not actually throwing eggshells on my floor. There's a garbage can back into my right. So I'm cracking my eggs in and throwing them in the pan, and then throwing the shell away. Now, what I'm going to talk about in this section of the video, while you're watching me scramble eggs, is when this is all done, one of the things I didn't record is the casserole coming out of the oven. So you're going to cook this casserole at 350 degrees for an hour to an hour and 15 minutes most likely. And I'm counting eggs right now because I go through about 18 eggs for this casserole. So after you've cooked your casserole, the top is going to look done before the rest of it is done. Okay? Don't pull it out and assume it's done just because the top is nice and brown and looks cooked. It's not necessarily. Like I said, it's an hour to an hour and 15 minutes at 350 degrees with the ratios I'm giving you in these pans. So scramble up your eggs, and then we're going to pour them all over the top of this casserole. Like I said, when you open the oven after that time, it's going to look done. Carefully use hot pads and take it out, and use a knife or a spatula end and cut across the middle horizontally across the pan. And if it fills back in with liquidy substance, it's still cooking. If it doesn't fill in, it's done. Now after I pour my eggs over the top of all this delicious meat and potatoes, because who can beat meat, potatoes, and some eggs, guys? It's a guy's dream. My wife and I makes about 8 servings, and we eat it for breakfast for 4 to 5 days. We just cut it into 8 pieces and stick it in Tupperware, and I take it to work with me, and that's what I eat at work. And it's awesome to have pre-cooked food. It's healthy, it saves time, and I always know I have good food ready to go. So I'm going to throw it in the oven, cook it for an hour to an hour and 15 minutes on 350. I've already got it preheated, and that will wrap it up. Guys, thanks for joining me on Fallible Kitchen. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Give it a try. Salt and pepper to your taste. I like to put hot sauce on it when I'm cooking it myself, when I reheat the servings. Enjoy your food, guys. Every man should cook.